Welcome back to the Love Live. It is Sunday. It's 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. Of course, we are streaming live from YouTube, Twitch, Facebook Live. It's Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there and the expected mothers to be. If you didn't know, this is a safe space. We are not psychiatrists here. And if you don't agree with what you see on the Love Live, you've got one option to turn it off, right? Other than that, this is a safe space, and we do this every Sunday. We have open conversations, some conversations that need to be needed, some are need to be had, and some conversations that maybe don't need to be had. But this is a safe space, and what that means is you're free to express yourself. You can give us a call at any time if you want to join the conversation at 816-398-8229. And of course, the Love Live, we have got our host, Miss Delia King. Delia, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you doing today?
I am doing good. It is another Mother's Day, aka Mimosa Day, around my neighborhood. Oh, look at that shirt. So,
Period.
so where did you get that shirt?
So I actually got this shirt from heartblacklives.com, and it's a Black mother shirt. So it means to love Black mothers. And I am a mother. Today's Mother's Day. So on this episode, one of our sponsors is Heart Black Lives. So you can get this shirt and more shirts like it on heartblacklives.com.
On heartblacklives.com, and we will create a banner for heartblacklives.com. They are a sponsor for us today. They've got Mother's Day shirts, but they also have more shirts than that. So if you are interested in getting that shirt, you can just get on heartblacklives.com, which is huge. And then, of course, returning once again is the Bronze Beauty,
What's
aka
up?
aka She Study. How you doing? Happy Mother's Day.
Thank you, thank you. Happy Mother's Day, Delia.
Hey, you look like you've been on vacation.
I haven't. I just been in the backyard working.
Well, I need it.
The 10 is giving.
Ew, I'm
Yeah, we
here. Giving. You was my complexion. I see what you're working with now.
Yeah.
and then last but not least, Miss MVP, aka the
Hello.
Happy Mother's Day
Salute.
MVP.
Happy Mother's Day.
Salute to all the mothers and motherly figures out there celebrating on today. We salute you, queens.
And salute the queens that don't have kids that still got motherly figures.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But we're gonna get into our Mother's Day episode. Before we started, I had a video I wanted to bring up. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Steve Harvey and kind of familiar with his journey as a man, but he had a really, for lack of a better term, neat video that he had for Mother's Day, and I just wanted to share it with y'all real quick, if that's okay.
Sound to reduce their weight and the
Hey, welcome back, everybody. It's been more than 15 years since my mom passed away. But there's not a day that goes by that I don't think of some of the principles that she taught me. Eloise Vera Harvey. I adored her. She taught me so many things. One of the biggest lessons she taught me was about image. My mother was a Sunday school teacher. It was important for her that we dressed up to go to church. And my mother was saved, so she went to church all the time. Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday night, we skipped Thursday, Friday, we missed Saturday and Sunday, both morning and night service.
That boy Steve
That's
Harvey
prayer
stayed in
meeting,
church, y'all.
Bible study, choir rehearsal, usher board meeting number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I really was considering going to hell at one point because I thought that it was just too much church. But her image, her concern with image was everything back then. You got to dress up to go to church. That was her thing. It's been instilled in me. I dress up all the time. I think about her when I'm tired.
Oh, oh, look at that hug.
Um, Yeah. We sure don't have them mothers no more. They give a damn about their image
Or church.
because they hands is hanging around their ass.
Or church. That's true.
Or church.
Yeah, that's true.
Or believe in anything in that matter, whether it's church,
Praying.
uh,
That was the prayer.
praying it, praying, meditate, whatever you want to do. We ain't. They don't care about none of that.
That was the original praying mother. But that
Yeah.
generation, like, that I guess, brings us into our first topic, because that's old school parenting. Old school parenting back in the day versus the new school parenting of now. A large amount of old school parenting was that, you grew up in church. You spent a large amount of time with family and in church. I feel like new age parenting, it does not have a large amount of that. So yeah, you're right. It's
It
like
created discipline.
I'm in church, Danielle, as a kid.
I actually went to private school my whole life until my high school years.
Oh
So I
man,
was in church
it was
a
amazing.
lot.
Hello. Envy, did you
Yeah.
ever about as a kid?
No. Church was not one of the things that was a part of my mother's upbringing for her children. Um, it was kind of like uh, you just pray, God, get us out of this, and
Mm, I understand.
yeah, but no, it was not really um, an imposition of any sort of religion or spirituality. But I also feel like now in adulthood, the fact that I do have an adherence to faith and I do have a sincerely built up spiritual side and relationship with Source, that is because that's something that I chose for myself. It wasn't like, okay, this is just, we gonna be Baptist because we black and we say Jesus. It was really a choice that I made for myself.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's how my mom was. She didn't actually, even though I went to Catholic school, she didn't force me to be Catholic. She still let me kind of choose what religion or what spirituality that I could, do myself. She wasn't like, oh, you in Catholic school, we gotta go, you gotta be Catholic, you taking communion, you gotta do this. So no, it wasn't like that, but it was still structure and still helped. It helped the foundation. It still taught some discipline, I think, and some structure. The foundation most definitely matters. I mean, even if you as you get older and you decide that you're going to change your religion or your belief, that's fine. But the actual practice of praying or meditating is there for you. Like MVP said, she let him. We gonna still pray to he gonna get us out of this. Even though she didn't physically go to the church and pray, you still we gonna pray to get us out of this. And that's what happens. You still had that foundation, so to say, of praying to the source, like you said.
Right. No, I feel that. I agree. And that a large amount, all of that is from childhood. And then I think, unfortunately, clearly, it doesn't necessarily matter if you were or weren't, having to go to church, because like the three of us are on the phone clearly right now, and you hear Empion didn't go, and we still are able to communicate with each other and still have a level of understanding. So it doesn't necessarily mean that because you did or didn't, that there's a deviation. But I do know that there was a larger stigma back in the day to make sure you went, whether you knew why or not. You were just going. So a large amount of times you weren't discussed on what the meaning was. It's just you going to church. I went to church. My grandma went to church. My uncle went to church. You going to church. And I think, a large issue with that is, like he said, it's funny because I feel like he may have left that out, Steve Harvey. I feel like he may have left that out. But when he was being funny, saying it was some times where I kind of wanted to go to hell, like I feel like it was more of the less, I'm just doing this all the time. I'm not getting to do the things that I enjoy. So it's like I would rather just go to hell than deal with this much church. And I almost can relate with just as a kid. I remember one thing I used to want to do big time was I would want to go skating. And choir rehearsal used to be Friday nights from 7:30 to 9. And that used to really just do it for me because skating was from 7 to 11. So by the time I get out of choir rehearsal, I can't go skating. So I don't want to go to church or be in the choir if it affects me going skating. And then my mom was like, you wouldn't even be able to skate if it wasn't for Jesus. And don't nobody want to. explained the other side versus that. You know what I mean? Like they didn't give you that great, wholesome understanding as to what you're really going for. So you just feel punked. And it's like they taking up all of your time of your childhood doing what you don't want to do. So I do understand that. But some things are so traditional, you don't actually get an explanation of why it's a tradition. You just kind of made to do it, and then you just end up doing it. And then we have our kids, and it's like, well, I went to church growing up, you going to church, like, and you want to get past that. I went there, didn't I? Yes, I did. Yes.
You did.
So with me, I
spent
I still kind of, I guess I'm taking my mother's lead with that, because I don't necessarily believe in the imposition of spirituality on children. If I did, it would probably be more like African traditional religion in my household. However, my son reads his Bible every day by choice, Christian young man. And so it is just, it really is listening to what's right for your soul and following that path.
I can agree to that. So yes, but from the old school's parenting side. So I feel like what you're saying, I think is more of the choice of the new age parenting, because we're more flexible, we're pliable, we're open to understanding.
No, they just don't have a path.
Well, think about it though. If you're able to research and decide that you don't have to choose, because you're right, you got a lot of lost ones. So no, I don't disagree. You got some that don't have a path, but then also you have so many that are able to seek out. Because think, if the only thing you knew is Baptist, your cousins is Baptist, people around you Baptist, you cool, it just is what it is. But when you do get the option to explore other religions or talk to other people that are walking in different dynamics, it gives you that option to want to make that decision to do so. So it's like, oh, well, maybe I'm not going to say I'm not a Christian. I want to experiment in spirituality before I make that decision. I feel like the new age lifestyle gives you that option versus the stern lifestyle that the back in the day brought. You didn't get that option. It was almost like if you wasn't this, you almost had to go. And if you weren't believed in,
you was going to hell with Steve Harvey.
Say that again.
You was going to hell with Steve Harvey.
Yeah. Or you weren't about to love, because think about it. Like, okay, you were a beautiful, and then this is just a mythical thing that I'm coming up with for this moment. But like, okay, you're a Black Catholic woman, but let's say in the world of things, like you're Catholic, and then you met a Black Christian guy, and then because of the two different belief systems, y'all can't be together. Well, that would have been, I guess, that issue. But nowadays, that's not the case. Y'all can both still worship and still be connected. So I feel like, the new age of just how we do things and how we handle, because of us being so much more open, has given benefits, but it also has taken away, because so many people are no longer instilling anything. So just because one thing was instilled doesn't mean it was right, but the lack of instilling, I don't think is better either. Like you said, nobody believes
right
out here living.
Yeah, they need to most definitely get back to some structure.
Yeah, because lack of structure, that's the problem. What they say, the idle mind is the devil's playground.
And that's what's going on. That's actually what's going on right now in the world. Everybody's mind is idle. They got too much time on their hands, and
a lot of mamas are scared to mama. Imagine being a mama but can't even mama the way you want a mama because somebody affecting your mama in. Or you have a person that done fake call DFS on you and lied about your mama. So now you can't even properly mama. Or worse, someone take your kid and you can't mama. Or you're in the house with your mama and your mama won't let you mama. Ooh, because I know people go through that.
Oh yeah.
That's the
it wasn't my mama, it was my daddy. My daddy wouldn't let me mama.
Yeah, you can't even mama. Like, let me mama.
Mm-hmm. My son, you would have thought I didn't even have custody of my son, because my son stayed with my daddy until he passed in 2015. He didn't come move in. He didn't. Well, he had his room. I had his room here. Like I'm always gonna have a room for my son, but he didn't even come stay with me till he was a sophomore in high school. He was with my daddy. My daddy, he don't have to come home. He can stay over here. So I'm like, he gotta come home.
No, he wasn't trying to do that. He said,
yeah. So that makes it different though. But now my father, thank God, he could parent. So I got a good my son got a good foundation, and
Right.
I mean, but still, just think if my daddy was a drug dealer or something.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, well, thank goodness that he was on the straight and narrow because then that
Right.
gave positive masculine energy. It's just like ain't nobody got time. So I definitely get that. I think that we're
When you get older, you gonna hold your girl hand?
No,
Why?
because if you get lost, she lost.
What?
What?
What are you teaching him, boy?
That's
Boy,
crazy.
stop, man.
horrifying. That little boy is horrifying.
That part. That part.
That Envy,
If she get lost, she get lost. He lost.
Envy, you said that's your son.
No, I did not.
Did you see her face?
Envion first of all, Envion, let me ask y'all, because it's Mother's Day. And if y'all didn't know, this is a safe space. This is the Love Live. We are on Mother's Day, as we typically are every Sunday, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, live on YouTube, live on Twitch, also live on Facebook. We've kind of introduced videos to our mix. So if you have any feedback about the current format of the show, of course, hit us in the comments. But this being a safe space, it's a place you can talk about what you like. We're talking about mothers today, and of all kinds. We started off with kind of Steve Harvey talking about how his mother kind of really put image on him. I think that's huge. As a man, right? Your mother teaching you the image,
Yeah.
because let me ask you ladies, do you guys ever feel like you're attracted to men who kind of act like your father? Or maybe like if you hear a dude does something that your dad does that make you be like, my dad was a basketball player, that, gives me a connection to you?
Everything but the aroma.
What you mean?
Wait,
the
what?
aroma?
Yeah, because, like, no, like you
don't want to smell. You don't want to smell brute.
hell yeah, like you can't smell like my daddy. Like I'm not about to play no games with you.
Yeah, my
What your
daddy's
dad used to
cologne was like
wear?
Calvin
my dad.
Klein A1. Oh my god.
My dad used to wear Fahrenheit.
My dad used to wear CK1. That's the one, and Juke. You remember Juke?
Oh, Juke. Juke used to be fired.
Look like you
Oh,
were.
wow.
Yeah, Juke used to be fired. My daddy wore Fahrenheit and gray flannel.
Them smell good. Like, so think about it. Now you hugging them, and it's like, oh yeah, like I want you to have a strong working foundation like my dad, but just don't smell like him. It's just not okay.
Right.
I can't.
That is very fair. Like for me, I am after character traits that are like my father. Like I want a man who is honorable like my dad. Like my father is one of the most honorable men that I've ever met. So if that's not a word that can describe a man that I'm dealing with, then that's not a man that I need to be dealing with. So like there are really real real man, old school man qualities that my dad had, and like those things are very admirable to me.
Question. The way you said that made me think of a question. So the question would be, would he already be honorable as who he is when he comes into your life, or as he learns who you are and caters to your needs, that's what would make him honorable?
I'm gonna need him to come with some honor.
What would be honorable?
So one of the things that I'm very big on is respect. With my father, and I've shared this story on the Love Live before, like my father, in my entire life, I've never heard my father call my mother out of her name. So if he's a man and he approaches and he's all these bitches, these hoes, you don't even gonna be talking about me, because that ain't that the thing that we let us say. Well, he ain't talking about me.
Right.
You ain't talking about me. But if that's the way that you refer to women, then you're not on the level of honor that I want my partner to have. So that would be just a simple thing like that I would look into.
I got you. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of feel the same way. Like there's a certain way you would actually have to speak to me in the beginning, or even when you, like, let's say, for example, when you're out and a guy tries to approach you to talk to you, you're not gonna talk to some dude that's be like, What's up, bitch? Let's go smoke a blunt. Like you gotta go
Girl,
talk to him, you know.
hey, the comment, and then the comment, it say, I still wear Fahrenheit, the disrespect.
Oh,
Somebody
somebody know what I'm talking about.
You can't be out here smelling
Don't
like Papa Bear
don't be disrespecting them old players to be in the club with them young girls. You know how
They
you wear
got
that
gray flannel.
Fahrenheit
Oh man.
at the Players
with them.
Ball out Martin.
If you gotta tell me what your shoes made out of, you old. I'm gonna let you know that when it's ostrich. This is what
Yeah,
this
my daddy
is.
used to have some ostrich boots and some snake skin boots. Like he took care of himself. So
My pappy had whatever
Ooh.
toe at the tip. You know what I'm talking about? What is that?
you talking about the chrome at the tip?
No, where it be a point, just like a point.
I mean, just a cowboy boot with a point on it.
Yeah, it's
Kinda.
Metal.
a
Yeah.
cowboy boot.
He wasn't playing no games about them. Just old.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He was old.
He's paying.
But
He's probably paying
I
three,
know
four
for a
hundred.
fact my daddy.
Yeah, them boots. His boots was he used to get Kohan boots and
Yes, he
yeah.
snazzy. My daddy was old. So like it wasn't that he wasn't snazzy because he was a very nice dresser, but in the format of old. So like he would wear like the jeans with them cowboy boots and that buckle. You know what I'm talking about? Like
that big buckle.
yes, because what I learned, because mind you, so my dad was born in 1932. So with that being stated, like him growing up, he looked up to like cowboys and the westerns were a thing to him. So of course, getting older to him, that was a big deal. Like I literally, I wish that if we would have prepped for this, because y'all would laugh. I got a picture of my pappy, no lie. He was at my graduation at Paul Mitchell in 2018 with a cute black cowboy hat on and some cowboy boots. I'm
But
not
what the fact that you still call him Pappy.
girl. You know what you're not gonna do is but
This fool.
so it was one of them things for like, so for me, mind you, I'm our age bracket. So for us, that's like, bro, you are not dipped. But in his mind, he's put together, like because
Clean.
you know what I mean? Yeah, it clean, exactly. Because from him in his childhood, it's like this is what all of the nice dope dudes was wearing. This was a sleek, a snazzy look. So it's definitely a generational thing. And then he wore that CK1 like that shit was going out of style.
Now that was more so my son's father. He used to wear that CK1
Mm-hmm.
and that juke.
And that Jew, I'm telling you, Jew was like, I feel like that was like they was passing them out to all the deacons at all the churches back in the late 90s because every dude you walk past to me smelled like Jew.
Mm-hmm.
Between that and then all the young dudes was wearing Curve. Curve took over.
Yep. That's what the mothers look for.
Hello. That's how you can tell how old he is by which vicinity. Oh, he got Jew on seasoned. I don't know nobody young wearing Jew. I don't know.
I hope not.
I would hope not too. So no dudes was wearing that Cuban cigar, or am I tripping?
Not back then.
Oh, okay. I could have swore dudes was wearing a Cuban cigar. My daddy was wearing one of them too. I don't know what the name was.
Lord.
It came in a Cuban cigar pack, and it was shaped like a Cuban cigar coming out of the pack, and you sprayed it.
No, they wasn't wearing that back. They wasn't wearing that back in the day.
Oh, did you? Video? Hey, so did you they wore Jabot jeans?
Everybody wore Jabot jeans.
No, but did you date a dude that warm? It ain't about if everybody warm.
Yeah.
Did you date a dude that warm?
See, that's why your kids gonna date thugs. See, that's the taste.
No,
The
there you
taste.
go. It's your
Hey,
dude.
I dated got my son's father wore Jabot jeans.
There we go. The reason you brother today is because of a nigga in some Jabot jeans. It's okay.
We
Yeah.
got a video real quick, y'all. And I want to segue really quick if I can. If y'all didn't know, it's Sunday. Y'all tapped into the Love Live. This is the Mother's Day edition. We have got our panel on with our host, Miss Delia King.
Hello.
And then don't forget the itty bitty pixie one herself, MVP, aka MVP the Great. And the bronze beauty, aka she studied. Bonds Beauty, you been outside. You been outside on Mother's
Outside.
Day.
Mm.
I've
Did
been
you enjoy
outside
your
on
Mother's
Mother's
Day?
Day.
What'd you do for Mother's
Yes.
Day, Bronze Beauty?
I actually was at the tattoo convention both
Okay.
days, Saturday and Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Hooked up
Mm-hmm.
with Black Ink. My homeboy
Okay.
Safari did piercings, and then and this was Black Ink Jacksonville. And then Focus did me a new tattoo. I don't know if y'all can see it. It's a nail
Okay.
polish brush. So yeah, I just been hanging out with Black Ink
Oh, that sounds like
Jacksonville.
work.
That's
That's
what's
That's
yeah, my work.
right.
so
I think that's what's up
That,
though.
that's pretty cool.
very
MVP,
cool.
how you doing?
Yes. What's up? I'm
How
good.
was
I'm
your
great.
How was your Mother's Day?
My Mother's Day has been very, very well. Like this has been one of the first Mother's Day in like a lot of years where I've not been like emotionally going through some things or like grieving a loss or just just really deep in my feelings. Like it's been a good day. Spent the day with my kid, with the boy, if you follow me on social media. And it's been a really good day. Like, as you saw the hand that descended upon a plate and all of that, just having a
Not
really
ended
chill
upon.
day. Yes.
Descended upon. I like that. That's funny.
And Miss Delia, what'd you do? Happy Mother's Day to you as well.
Thank you
So
very
what did you
much.
do? What did you do today besides put
I,
on that fly shirt? Tell them about
I
our sponsor.
all right. Well, I got this shirt from heartblacklives.com, and it's a Black mother shirt. And this, as well as Black Lives, Black women, Black men, Black love, are also available on that site. Today was actually lovely. My Mother's Day, I can't complain. I woke up and enjoyed Mother's Day from start to finish. I even worked today because as a mother, you got to provide. So I went in and I did a client or two today. And then I went and fellowshipped a little bit. And then I went and drunk, and I'm still drinking. And boom, I'm on the Love Live. And we came through, and here we are. Boom.
Yeah. And you know what?
Period.
Perfect
To be
time to
like that.
segue into.
You are every woman.
Let's segue into another video here.
On my left wrist, yeah, I'm feeling great today. I might pull up in Neiman's and spend a K today. No more cash in my
So, Delia look like she can't see. You can't see.
You know I'm old. Now, what happened there?
Well, he was walking past. Look, we gonna skip that video. Listen, on the Love Live, sometimes this is a work in progress because this is a safe space. It's also safe for me to do my technical things. We working every week. If y'all didn't know, we improving.
Because I done
Maybe
got
you can't see the reels.
in there.
Well, that was a reel. That was a reel of a young man who was
Uh-huh.
had his lady with him, and he was trying to catch one of these motions, but her man was standing right there in his face. So it was kind of a reaction video.
How do you feel about
So
that in security land as a guy? Because I just feel like if the ass is fat, you knew it was fat when you got it. It ain't gonna deflate when you go out in public. So why is it an issue if someone looks at it?
That's what I'm saying. I can't fight every nigga on the 7 Cs.
Man,
If if it was an oddity, let me tell you.
You think that shit? Ah!
She talking about your cat ran past you on camera, MVP.
Nothing happened. What the fuck? You just got pussies running rampant over there. What are you doing?
Yes, actually.
I don't know. I don't know what happened. MVP, what happened?
A pussycat just came flooding past. Like nothing. Like she didn't even jump. She just sipped her shit like as if
My cats
I
are
was not
ghetto.
ready, bro.
I'm used to it.
I was not
They
ready.
ghetto.
That's hilarious. I'm not gonna lie to you. I wasn't prepared. That's funny.
That's regular life, y'all. When I seen the
Yeah,
cat
that
go
threw me
past, I
off.
was
That
like,
threw me off
damn.
guard.
I had to look at
I'm
her like,
a teenager and a mom to 2 cats too, and a python. So hey,
it's just he went by so fast. That's like he was
Nah,
trying
he
to
wasn't
avoid
playing.
live or something. I felt like he knew what we was doing or some shit. Yeah, I don't even remember what I was saying.
catch y'all real quick. Let me just slide.
Yeah, you
Why don't
cat.
play us here?
Well, we was on the Mother's Day topic, Delia, and we was kind of talking about. I guess y'all was going into. I guess y'all fathers because, um, I guess mother is your tastemaker for men in the future. Would that be a fair fact to say, like, your
Say that again.
mother's taste, like your mother is the tastemaker for you in men, like your mother's taste in men somewhat shapes your taste because, like you said, your dad. If your dad was a dirty dude, then maybe you'd be kind of like more likely to talk to a dirty dude, or like y'all saying, like your dad with the gator boots. You see a dude with some gator boots, you like you
Well,
on to
I don't feel
something.
like that ain't necessarily true that they can shape your taste because think about it. You do have some people that grew up and they don't like their dad, and then they'll say like, I don't know what the fuck my mama on, something wrong with her because she a different person than you are. You know what I mean? Because us as women, we're so different. So yeah, I get you. I agree. But to a fault, because you're right. Like I feel like if anything, if he's a good man, then I feel like it makes it a little more difficult out here. Either or, I can't say that. If he's good or bad, I do feel like if nothing else, it gives you a comparison like a bar. So like in school, how they're like, okay, well, this is the curve. That's usually based off of a standard. So at least with having a dad, there's a standard. Now, whether he's a good dad or a bad dad, you have a standard. Because if he's a bad dad, then you still know, okay, well, you do this. My daddy do that dumb shit. I don't like that. And if he is a good person, good dad, and you ain't doing that, it's like, okay, well, nigga, my daddy do this. So the fact you don't do this is a problem for me.
Straight up. And you know what, y'all? Speaking of good dads, the man himself.
What up,
Bam,
Bam?
what up, Bam? What
Hi,
up, my
Bam.
brother?
Hi, Bam.
What's going on?
Hi,
What's
Bam.
up? Welcome to the Love Live.
What's going on?
Been a minute.
Oh
Been a
man,
long.
we just having a little chat,
Wait,
man. We've been
Daniel, did your voice change? You said hi, Bam.
No, it did not. Grow up, Danielle. Danielle, when you outside today, you a little tired.
No, I'm not outside today.
You outside today. The sun got her tired, Bam. Don't let her say those things to you, Bam.
Bam heard it.
What's the
He
deal?
heard it. Hi, Bam.
What we on?
What up, bro?
it's
So tonight
Mother's
we
Day,
on Mother's
man.
Day, and you a father.
Mm.
Oh damn. Never
So we
mind.
just talking about So really, we were talking about really how women's taste in men shape, or their women's taste in men as mothers shape their daughters, or shape what they look for in men when they grow up. They're kind of their tastemaker, so to speak. So we lost.
And
Oh, we got to
Bam, you blacking out.
brother, man.
Yeah, stuff's happening to you.
it's still there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go. Call.
Yeah, it can. I mean, you know, most people don't really pay attention to what they think the kids is paying attention to. You know what I mean? So you got some women that are.
He with Big Tigger in the basement, ain't he?
Yeah, my bad.
Yeah, you fucking up today. What you doing over there?
You over there in the basement?
I'm now that I'm on here, now people want to call. Ain't nobody call me all day.
That's how it be. All the mothers is calling trying to figure out where the fuck.
No, but I mean it just depends, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, some women don't understand that, you know, if they messing with a certain type of man, you know, even when he doing bad stuff and she's trying to like code it and make it seem like it's okay, you know, you can have your daughter feel like it's okay for a man to treat her like that or move in such a way, or she may believe or perceive that whatever this man is doing is love because her mama is saying that she
Hey, his phone cracking today.
Yeah, it is. How dare him? But it's 10 o'clock on Mother's Day. They like, so
Did you forget to bring some flowers or something?
something's happening. You need to make
no,
some salmon. You need to go make some salmon croquettes and some rice.
I don't need to do
Somebody's
shit.
house.
You need to cook dinner.
Yeah.
I don't need to do shit.
The boys that gonna get that Sam. We're gonna call back.
Calling back. That's just not me
They
calling.
calling back to back.
You might as well answer that phone.
Some text messages about to come next. About to get them paragraphs lengthy.
But
I don't know if
But
I
nah,
cut
bro.
off whatever, but yeah.
if you're on Wi-Fi, if you put yourself on airplane mode, then that won't happen.
Oh, it's about to be bad. Somebody about to crash through the front
Say
door.
less. Say
Yeah,
less.
Uh-oh.
Oh yeah,
somebody's
like
anxiety's going
really
up.
flipped now. Oh, okay.
Oh,
Now
Wait,
the
I,
wait,
mamas
I
no.
is
had.
now
Oh,
all the mamas
Copeland,
is
why would you
mad.
do
I
Copeland? Why
don't
would you do him
have
like
those
that?
kind
And
of
you
problems.
know what can happen when you get voicemails too many times.
Well,
I don't
if
have.
you still watching the Love Live, you can still inbox him. Damn, you can still if you really that if this motherfucker then you know this. You know,
Listen,
I
it's
ain't got them kind of problems.
hey, and you know how when women be petty, he talking about he on some little podcast. He don't even got no little podcast.
oh man, it's Mother's Day.
That's exactly how they be.
For real. And he swear he important. He ain't even important and shit. That's funny. No, you what you saying though, actually what you saying that is very true. And then you're right because the child's perspective depending on their level of strength. You're right. If it's a toxic environment and they're constantly in one, either them two will accept toxic relationships or not want to deal with a relationship because of the toxicity. That they'll literally feel away like I'm cool. I'll be watching my mama fight with my daddy and it just I'm cool on that. So you're right. It just definitely depends on the level of the person because what you're presenting to them, depending on how they receive that, it really does influence the next level of decision making for them.
I mean, I know some women, you know, just like asking them questions and digging deep. Uh, they mothers have dealt with men that was aggressive with them. They spoke aggressive with them. So they grew up feeling as if that's how a man show you he love you. You know what I mean? So when they got older and they start dating, if a man didn't show that type of energy, then they didn't perceive it to be love. You know what I mean? So they kind of sought after that type of energy that they got or they seen from their mother and what their mother dealt with because their mother, would go to them like, oh, it's okay, he loves us and he gonna be here and be that, and they still see the man there, so they interpreted that as love.
Then
So
it
the question earlier today, Ben, was did you have to grow up in church?
Who, me?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I did.
ooh, a
So
lot of
how did that look as like y'all was just every Sunday or
yeah,
you would you Sunday, Wednesday, Thursday, like what's like an everyday thing?
It wasn't really no everyday thing with me. It was a Sunday. It was just a Sunday thing with me. Um I wasn't really with my mom like that. You know what I mean? Like until my stepfather came in the picture, and when he came in the picture, it was more so like on Sundays. But then again, I was a troubled kid, so But I never, none of that stuff never sat well with me. You know what I mean? So I would be uncomfortable in church and all kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Like my whole family is based on Christianity, and then my cousins when they went, and went to the place and came back, they Muslim, but majority of my family they Christian.
So do you think it was a foundation set, even though the belief might have changed, you just going to church every Sunday, do you think that that foundation set a good parenting, like had any effect in your parenting?
In my parenting,
Mm-hmm.
um,
I agree.
yeah, no, you know what I mean? Because I mean, of course, anything that you do or anything your family put you in is gonna set some type of, base for you. You know
Right.
what I mean? But for me, I just took it, I just transitioned it into something else because I just wasn't stuck on one thing like most of my family. Most of my family never, what I'm saying, read any books on Hinduism or Buddhism or Muslims or none of that. You know what I mean? So they don't know anything outside of Christianity because they feel like if they do, then they turning their back on Christianity or they sinning or they do, they afraid. They got that fear factor of Christianity in them, and I don't. You know what I mean? So for me, when it comes to, what I'm saying, doing certain things with my daughters, I let them choose. I don't make them do anything. So if they want to go to church with my mother or they moms, that's fine. But if they don't, then that's fine.
Yeah, I think that's what I was actually saying earlier, Delia, when we were talking about I went to Catholic school my whole life, but my mother still let me choose, and it was kind of open where I was able to study different religions and decide on myself for myself.
Got you. I
And I'm
still
the
think
only heathen on the panel.
It's even biblical. It says the word says to study to show thyself approved. So if you're only reading one religious text, even if you're saying that, okay, I'm a Christian, I'm a devout Christian, or Christianity, that's the only thing that I follow, but you aren't seeking these other, what about the books of the Bible that were removed? Have you looked to read the Dead Sea Scrolls? Have you read about the Chinese history that was written at simultaneous times during the biblical time period? Like, study to show yourself approved. So if even if that's what your belief is, but to say that there is one religion that just all encompasses everything that you believe, if you can say that, then that is beautiful, and I'm glad that you can do that. But I feel like it also is a disservice to say that, and you've only maybe half read one book, or I just listened to what the pastor say, and then this is what it is. I feel like for your own soul's growth and progression, not even just to adhere to a religion, just to know, follow, like, gain as much knowledge as you can. And so even in my own journey, I've learned to find divinity within myself. So it makes me think of the Saul Williams quote: "Don't ask me about God, because I know my God personally. I know Him so well, He lets me call Himself me." So it just, like, it's to feel a one with spirit and source. So hey, that's what it is. Can that fit in under the Bible, or under, like, the Quran, or whatever? And I say this with the Quran in my room right now, like, and the Bible, my family's Bible, in my room as well. So it's just really searching until you find what makes the most sense for your soul.
Well, with that open mind, then we go back to, like you said, the parenting styles. The parenting styles then become where they let the kid kind of choose the religion or the spirituality walk that they want to walk. Like Bam said, he actually starts studying different religion, different cultures, different reasonings, and then you become open to being able to let your kid choose what religion or what spirituality they want to study or meditate, pray, whatever.
You see, I didn't want my kids to develop a fear factor in them. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
'Cause I don't have any fear. I don't have no fear of death or none of that. You know what I'm saying? And everything that I've done with my children, shit, they pretty much the same way. You know what I mean? I don't want them to feel like they got to live life with limitations. You know what I mean? Like, or be restricted because something is telling them that, oh, you shouldn't do this or you shouldn't do that. You know what I mean? Of course, we know the difference between right and wrong, what we perceive to be right and wrong to be, in order to, you know what I'm saying, fit in society. But at the end of the day, whatever it is that makes you feel happy with what makes you feel good, you should do that.
I agree.
Hey, Delia been real quiet on the show since
No, I,
Bam popped in.
hey, you know what?
She took all her shit off the wall, so she really should talk because the wall's already prepped. Got the motherfucking
You
wall
know what?
prepped already.
You got a
I
clean
don't have
canvas.
no time.
Yeah.
You got a clean canvas back there.
Let me tell you, but it is a safe space.
You want
I'm
to
a segue.
almost said a comment that was gonna make.
Don't, don't do it now. Listen. This is the Love Live. It's a safe space. What that means is we not only come in love, but we just come to have a conversation. Sometimes we vent. Sometimes we have a strict topic. We do this every Sunday at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook Live. This week is Mother's Day. We've been kind of just talking about mothers and just, I guess, our own mothers kind of in our own way. We went from the conversation of, I guess how your mother's choice in men, whether it's your father or whether she was single, how that kind of, shapes women's taste in men. And what were some of the other subjects, Delia?
I know one of the things that Bam has said, he really agreed with you. But other things that definitely shape it is the experiences too, because your experiences will definitely make you feel a way. But when he stated that basically when you're in the relationship, well, you're seeing your parents in the relationship and the things that they're putting up with, you feel like you have to put up with. I also feel like it almost adds to the attraction because it's like you attract that too. So like he was saying, like that the woman's putting up with this negativity, and then the daughter, let's say she goes and she's dealing with that, and then the mom tries to coddle her with, like, this is what love is like. It is amazing that you don't change that type of attraction and do go out, and you're right, like literally attract that same thing. And almost the excuse is, well, my mom dealt with this. Like, it's like instead of breaking that chain, they do. It's almost like they just fall victim to that exact same cycle, which does suck. So it goes back into what he said, you're right. And then I think that's why I always keep wanting to say, unless you're strong enough to decide to be different.
Breaking generational curses.
Yes.
I mean,
So
you begin to figure out what what you want to pull from it. Like, for instance, I got three little sisters. Two of my little sisters are married. You know what I'm saying? When my stepfather came in my life, I was 5 years old. So my stepfather and my mother's relationship, it was good, but it was toxic at the same time. You know what I mean? But I could see the similarities in my two sisters' marriages. You know what I mean? So not in a toxic sense. Like, they got really good marriages, but you know, instead of just being one of them type of people where they just kind of like give up on stuff and don't do certain things, like they fight for their stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, they sit down, they talk, they communicate. You know what I mean? They don't let their husband just go and feel some type of way. You know what I'm saying? They will him in and pull him in and try to give him a, you know what I'm saying, a good safe space to express himself. You know what I mean? Because my stepfather, he didn't get that. He didn't get to, you know what I'm saying, really express himself like that because my mama was tough. You know what I mean? So that's one of the things that, yeah, that situation was toxic, but my sisters was able to see what not to do.
All right.
So let me ask you this. I think one thing is a big difference, though. Especially when we talking about like, what not to do and what to do dealing with kids. It's kind of like a difference in parenting nowadays, though, especially with like the internet, right? So I think the internet is a big shaper of how people communicate, and I guess how they overall get along.
Right.
So with that being said, for mothers, I'll ask all of y'all, do you really feel like as a mother should you be on the internet really, living your best life, or should you be more reserved?
Oh, me. Oh,
Oh, I know you. Go ahead and tell us what we already know.
so
Tell us
irritating.
what we already know.
Oh, then she got hype.
I
Let's
got
talk
high.
about that. What was the situation? No, I'm just playing. Go ahead.
I have two perspectives. That's why I feel like that. So number one, now, true enough, like for example, the celeb level, like with Cardi B and that, like her music and the things that she does. Let's, for example, say like if I had an OnlyFans, I wouldn't like that. Of course, you don't want your child to find that out. You don't want your child to see that. You wouldn't want that exposure. But on the flip side of that, I've also been on the internet at a large scale, and the thing that I realized about it is not so much of a negative spotlight, but it's the fact of a spotlight at all. Like, because once you're under the spotlight, everything goes under there. So then those moments that you're not wanting to be under the spotlight, that has to go with it too. So it's like, yeah, it's great that I'm under the spotlight, when I'm graduating in hair school and I'm opening my salon and things like that. But it's not so great when I'm under the spotlight, when I'm failing, I don't know, in bills or just whatever negatives that come. Like, it's a flow and it's an up and down spiral. And I do feel like with social media, the more of yourself that's on there that you keep sharing with the world, the more you have to maintain sharing with the world. And eventually you really become engulfed, and it actually makes you lose focus and direction. So I don't enjoy it on that side. And then one more flip around, though, unfortunately, because of how I've had to parent, social media has been a platform to assist in my parenting, but I don't feel like I'm fully getting to parent because, like with my older son, I communicate with him on Snapchat because he doesn't stay in this state. But I don't really feel like I'm getting the full him. I get to see what he's up to. I get to see what he does. But at the same token, like I'm not actually parenting. I'm just involved. So I kind of know, but it's still not an involvement. He say some stuff and do some stuff on Snap that I really don't even agree with. But what can I actually do? So I'm comfortable at the ability that he has me at it. So he is himself in front of me, but then it's like I still question, like, are you being disrespectful because you know you can, or are you open and I'm able to enjoy this? Like I still have so many questions in that. So I feel like if it wasn't for social media, I wouldn't feel that way. So that's how I feel about it, only from coming from so high on social media in the scale and being seen in that light, and then also my children being on the internet as well. Oh, I got y'all.
Well, we were gonna segue. So since you talked about that, let's show one of your let's show one of your videos that you
Okay.
actually. Cause then you just sent me a video. Like, can you walk us through this video that just happened?
Oh, the video that I just sent. So basically, my
Yeah.
4-year-old son, my 4-year-old son and his best friend, which is basically our neighbor, they're like boyfriend and girlfriend. Well, they're viraling on TikTok right now because Allie comes over like every day asking for my son. But the way she reacts to when I tell him he ain't home is like hilarious. She basically doesn't have no type of bye. She just be like, all the time. And she takes off running. And this is one of those videos. It's currently
So
at
I guess
6.
Allie did to see that I'm in the car. So my brother's like, yeah, he ain't here. And I'm in the car. I guess she didn't see me. She said, look, bro, where is my dude at? Like, I ain't seen him in 3 days. Fuck is you doing? Look, she coming over here too. Where the fuck is little Nuggets?
Is little Nugget here?
No, he not here yet because I ain't picked him up yet. Okay, bye.
Hey, she don't care. She don't care about what I be talking about.
And she just walked off
Yeah,
like,
she went, and then she ran off. And it's like 4 or 5 different ones on there. But like, yeah, it's turned into a little series. It's cute. They are friends. They a trip. But she's hilarious. Like seriously is hilarious. She's funny. But she's 5 and D'Anthony's 4. So the real issue is that basically she gets out of school at like 3:45, 4. But I don't pick D'Anthony up until 5. So like the day before yesterday, she came over and she asked him on the porch, like, "Are you in Link?" And my son don't go to school yet, so he didn't even know what that was. So he was like, "To what? Like, what are you talking about?" So like they are just a funny. That's all. Like they just do little innocent crap. But TikTok like really is messing with them right now. That video, I think that video has been up a week. It has like 605,000 views right now. So yeah,
yeah.
they interested in like they say on there, the little blonde girl and little Nuggets, because she done gave him a name. My son's nickname is just Nuggets. She calls him Little Nuggets, and she got the whole internet, and he's telling people that my name is Little Nuggets. So yeah, that's what's going on as far as my parenting on my side of the world. Boom, back to y'all turn.
Little nuggets outside.
Little Nuggets is outside, and when he was outside, that actually viral too. He got under punishment. He emptied his entire piggy bank into her piggy bank, talking about she going to Five Below for.
Oh, well, what kind of parenting are you doing?
Well, no, she
You
brought.
you letting them giving money away.
Well, I don't know. I mean, a part of me wants to be proud of that because it's like you provided for her, but I'm not proud because that's
Right.
a piggy bank. Like now you don't got no. Like, I was so mad about it. Like they returned the money, like because he put a lot of money in her piggy bank, and then the mom came back over there with the money. Like I asked Allie, where did she get this from, and she said Nugget gave it to her. And I'm looking at him like, and he was like, well, she said she was going to Five Below, and I'm just looking like, oh my god. So yeah, he wasn't allowed to come outside for 3 days. And then that's what led to that video that you just seen. Because he was under punishment. Yeah.
Mm-mm-mm.
Yeah, my son out here providing for him.
And she with her attitude.
Oh yeah, she got an attitude. If you not letting him come outside, she brings him Kool-Aid jammers, Sprites, everything. She not playing with him.
So that goes to say, wonder how her mama parenting skills are.
And so I feel like it's so funny because one of the comments on that video, they were like, she's holding her Kool-Aid jammer like a beer. Laugh. And it made me laugh because she does have both her parents and they do drink beer. So it's like some the hill shit. That was what I was envisioning. Because they do be outside like that. And she do be holding her
Because
drink.
kids
Her
mimic
pops,
after their parents.
their parents, yes. So that crap is so funny. But yes,
So
they do.
we got one more video of nuggets.
Yes, dude.
Punishment with no port.
Oh man.
Punishment with no port.
Turned around and looked at me like, see, this is the stuff I be talking about. Like, you always on bullshit.
Y'all know this is
Oh yes, okay. So one more. This, if I had to pick one more, it would be the one where it says my son is 4. That was the very first time she and just ran off. She don't never say bye. If I say he ain't there, she just be like as if I'm not doing my job as a parent.
So that she knows she's probably seen somebody do that. That's been the response of somebody
God,
walking off.
Like that makes sense. Yep, you're right.
Yeah.
She don't care about.
So I got a question for y'all. Okay, I know you don't have a daughter.
Right.
Right. Does anybody on here have a son and a daughter?
Nobody's got a son.
Nobody.
I actually raised my niece from 6 months, and she's 10 now. She's like my daughter.
So when you like pouring into your niece, what is the difference from how you pour into your niece and how you pour into your son?
There is no difference for me.
I really don't have a difference. I teach both of them to take care of themselves, mentally, emotionally, physically. I teach both of them to provide for themselves.
Me, I would definitely have a difference, but I don't get that option yet. Because you would have to kind of go about it differently because of the two oppositions that they are, unfortunately. So it's like you would want to do, the same for as far as equality. But true enough, as a woman, it would be a lot easier for me to pour all of me into a daughter versus I feel pour a portion of me into my son because the portion of him that I need poured into him, I don't have.
Yeah, most definitely his father was there, but I'm saying like as far as my son goes, I made sure that I had showed him hard work, with even his dad. His dad got 2-3 jobs, whatever, but providing and just taking care of responsibilities. But both of them, I teach both of them that.
Bam.
Now there are some things that I know as a man I can't teach my son, which, like I said, I'm grateful his father was there. But like as a little girl, like you said, when I'm teaching her how to be stable herself and maintain, but still be receiving as well. Like be grateful that people give to you and accept gifts, or either, and give gifts at the same time. Like I make sure they both give and receive.
Yeah, I asked because a few kids that I mentor, their mothers have girls and boys.
Mm-hmm.
What I've noticed with the girls are that, the mothers are a lot more attentive and a lot more strong and direct with the girls than they are the boys. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of the mothers feel as if they don't want their daughters to make the same exact mistakes that they make. So they really, really get on to their daughters like that. Now, they do talk to their sons in a certain way, but it's more of a basic thing. You know what I'm saying? Hey, son, you do this, you do that. It's this, it's that. You know what I'm saying? But when it comes to the daughter, it's you got to be on this, you got to be on that. This is how it's supposed to go. It's more stronger. The way that a father would be on his son is how a mother is on her daughter.
I think it comes from frightening, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I teach both of them the same way. Because I've actually taught my niece and my son, the same way. I stay on both of them hard like that.
Yeah.
You know, one thing I
because that
wanted to add to it too
I,
was my bad. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead, Delia.
I was just gonna say, I feel like that there comes a frighten with it. So, for example, I've dated guys that have had daughters, right? So then, of course, I've been able to sample the step parenting side, and I feel like when I say the fright, I feel like again it kind of goes into I'm feeling a lot more comfortable with the visual of the paths. You're right, because you're what you said is exactly right. I can visualize certain paths that this woman or this young lady girl is going to go down that I visualize I can prevent. There's things that I can say and just so much more that I can do. So it's like, all right, I've been you before and I'm now me. You're eventually going to be me. So you're right. It's almost like I have the professional idea to be able to direct this one versus with the son, I almost don't want to do certain stuff. So that ain't to say I'm lenient because that ain't the case, but it's almost like I don't have the same professional mentality. I guess if we had to go into degrees, it's like I'm a PhD of a woman. So it's easy for me to direct this little girl because I've been a little girl. But I'm more of a freshman in high school when it comes to being a man. So now I have this son. It's only so much I can say. So I feel like I agree with you on that because you're right. Like I wouldn't be just so aggressive with a son versus the things that I know I'm gonna say and try to do to the daughter. Because what to prevent pregnancy and to prevent being a thought and to prevent getting looked at a certain way. Whereas with the little boy, it's a tad bit different. So I do agree with you, but I feel like
Yeah, I was kind of hard on my son though. I mean, he was he was the one of those kids that was like 18 and at a senior when he was a senior, so he couldn't mess with like the freshmen coming in because that's that's statutory rape at that point. So I made sure I stayed on top of him to know, and even like you said, even with the like you said, being with the provide, even him providing for himself and making sure he's stable, like all of that. Yeah, I was hard on him. I didn't hold back.
did you how do I want to put this? How did you praise them? How did you celebrate them when they made accomplishments? Do you feel like you celebrated her in a different fashion that you did him?
me or
Did
did
I, hold on, did I lose y'all?
no, you hear? Well, I hear
Oh,
you.
I think I lost y'all.
Flipped.
I'm flipped. Sorry, I don't know what happened.
There you go.
I think I feel like, I mean, now if you ask them, you might get a different answer. But I feel like I praised them both the same. Like I really didn't show no differences just because you were a girl versus a boy. I mean, I got morals. So the morals I think I just stood on regardless go both ways.
Yeah, I mean, I asked that because, you know, a lot of women don't feel like they're doing something different what they actually are. You know what I'm saying? And
Right. And I could be, like I said, it might be different. If you ask my son, I might get a whole different
I
response. You might get a whole different response.
she look like she want to say something.
Yeah.
I do, because I'm listening to the conversations and I'm listening to the word choice. And I feel like as a wordsmith, as a words person, like word choice matters. So the question was, how do you love the boy versus the girl in your life? And the first words that started to come out of your mouth were teaching. So it's the action of teaching, of telling. But where do we get to the part of where we're loving, right? Because in my family, we were very blessed and fortunate to have two Virgo babies that are exactly 2 years and 1 week apart. I call them the boy and the girl. The boy is my biological son. The girl is my daughter that my sister had. And so they've been raised together throughout their lives. And when I think of how do I love them, there is no separation because they are still my little babies to me. They are still the munchkins, even though both of them are taller than me. Like, if they need to be held, they can come and they know they can lean on auntie, or they know they can lean on mama, and I will hold them. They know I will speak lovingly into them. I will encourage them and I will build them up. And so I don't want the focus to be so much on, oh, we gotta drill this into them, we have to drill this into them. I want us to get to the point, and this may be where I'm, very new age in my parenting, because I do believe in free black children. I do believe in happy black children. I believe in children that are free to be themselves, and whatever that decision is, that is exactly what it is.
Right, but did he say love, or did he say had the difference between raising them?
No, he said, how do you show love to them? And then we started using the words of teaching and as far as telling. And so I'm listening, and because I think that's a very powerful thing, right? I think far too often we aren't heard. We don't, people don't actually listen to what's being said, and I'm listening to the words that you are saying. And
Yeah,
I'm letting.
well, because I sure didn't hear the word love, but as far as loving them, I'm with you on that too. Like I love, they both knew that they could come to me, and if they, like you said, if they needed a hug, or I always was open arms for that, for sure. But for some reason, I don't know why I thought Bam said pouring into them as far as like teaching and raising them, not loving them. But as far as loving, yeah, I didn't have no difference with that. My son still to this day like talks to me about any and everything, and can feel comfortable talking to me about any. And even my niece, she comes and talks to me about any and everything. I've taught them most definitely to be to make their own choices, make sure that they are happy, put their happiness first. Like today's Mother's Day. It's Sunday. And my son, his normal routine is on Sunday, he does not go out of the house for nothing. And so even today on Mother's Day, I'm okay with that. Like he has developed a self-care for himself. And we've exchanged. He came over here yesterday. We was together yesterday. And he's actually, that's what he does. And I can respect that because I've taught him to take care of himself first. Because when I'm dead and gone, you still got to take care of yourself. So like you stand your ground, you build your boundaries with the people that you need to be build boundaries with, and I can't do nothing but respect that because I'm the one who taught you to build your boundaries. So today he stayed in, and because he's like, Mama, I got to get ready to go to work, and he goes to sleep. He probably sleep now, and he goes to sleep at on a certain time frame. He got his own little schedule. So yeah, I built that, but I did that in both of them. I instilled that and loved and respected their boundaries, and they come to me and they open with me about. When I say everything, some of the stuff I'll be like, hold on, no, don't tell me, because I don't want to know. But yeah, most definitely, I love hard. So and I discipline hard. So that it kind of goes back to, I don't know if we remember the video of remember the parent that went up to the school and whooped the little boy, and she got in trouble, I guess, and they called DFS on her, and she lost her kids because she whooped her kids. And so, I mean, I used to whoop my son too, and I'm like, thank God it wasn't no cameras around because they probably would have called DFS on me too. But I love hard and I discipline hard, and there's a balance between the two. And if you don't have the balance between the two, then you become abusive. Or either if you have too much love and you just soft, and then you can get ran over by your kid. And I can truly kind of say I feel like I do got that balance. Like I love them hard and I discipline hard. I encourage them hard and I punish them hard. So they got the best of both worlds.
I'm like, okay. Because I get it, you know what I mean? And unfortunately, too, because I've only got to love my children, each one, for only so many amount of time in years before they're taken. I don't have so much of that. So I think it sucks because I know the love that I have, but I feel like if you talk to my kids, then you notice, I don't think people realize us as women, we always feel like some shit. So like Bam said, just because we feel it doesn't mean we're doing it. So, and we do feel a lot of ways. We live in our feelings. So regardless of the fact though, I do know how I feel about my kids, but I also feel like my kids, I don't know if they know it because the situations that they're in, the lives that they're living, and the things that may be portrayed around them, I don't know if that's spewing, oh, mommy loves you. So it does suck because I do know that when we eventually get the opportunity to cross paths again, it's going to have to be a lot of wounds that need healing that are, coming from me. And that really does suck. What's that say?
Yeah.
You have to be the parent and also listen with a friendly ear. Oh, that's very true. Oh my God, that's the truest of
Yeah,
all.
I think
I think
there's a,
I
a
think
big
that
big deal
from
with
the
that too.
understanding of
I
actually
agree.
parenting in the format of helping the child be the best version of themselves and not being a parent that's more of a dictatorship where you want me to be what you want me to be and not what I view myself to be. Because that
definitely.
parenting style to me leads to serial killers.
What?
You know how you got a parent that just is determined for you to be like what they want you to be. You may not,
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
I feel like
Oh
that
yeah.
serial killer because now you're pressured to do something you don't enjoy, and it just makes you want to just wreak havoc. Like it just does, you know. And it's you. There are a lot of parents that are like that,
But that's because you're never happy at that point.
right? Or they're trying to live through you. Like maybe they failed in sports, so now it's like you're gonna be an athlete, or they failed in I don't know modeling or something, and they're like, yeah, you're gonna do this. Unfortunately, that can bear a large amount of pressure on you. You're right. It just builds resentment over time too.
So, but let me cut you off. That brings me to like another conversation we talked about though, like that pressure from parenting on the children. It's like it's a lot different now though than it was then. If you look at like Brooke Hogan and you look at like Michael Jackson or even like the little dude that we were watching, Lil Woo Woo or whatever. You remember him?
Yeah.
I mean, like we're watching him like he's kind of a negative little dude. I'm gonna pull up a
Right.
video of Little Woo Woo, but if y'all haven't watched this little dude, he's all over the internet, and you know basically he said he what
For having no respect.
for having no respect. So let's go right into one of his videos.
Because yeah, if he was a fourth grader with a high IQ, we wouldn't even be hearing about him. But because he acting a fool, oh, he's all over the internet.
Oh yeah, hold on one second. I'm pulling
You
him
know
up.
how that goes.
Well, I mean, I think that's just the way they raise the kids now. They raise the kids much different than they used to.
Right.
What we got?
Yeah, they don't raise them
Engage.
now though, at all. They let them raise themselves.
Right.
But I think that's a part of the like being friends with the kids, right? We were talking
Yeah, but
about.
it's still a balance between that. I was my son's friend because I had him when I was 19. We were young, so he grew up with me. He was the one who went through all this everything with me. But there was still a respect line that you had to respect me as your mother. They don't have that line. They don't have that anymore.
That's
That's gone.
34.
Yeah, it's gone. So,
So yeah,
It's
let's go into.
grandmas are out here 34 now, so it's real hard for some respect when she just learned who she was. Grandma did.
Oh shit, let's go for it. Let's check out Young Woo.
Who's your celebrity crush?
How do you want to know?
I want to know.
Yeah, I want to know.
Shoot your shot.
Don't say no. But Ariana
Oh, but Ariana Grande was watching this right now. What you gonna say?
Yeah.
If you got 7 rings, I'm gonna be the 8th.
Oh, shit! Damn!
Hey, that's my song. Do you? That's my song.
You want video games? Oh no, that's for 8-year-olds only.
Yeah. You're only 4.
No, I'm 3 years old.
Oh, 2.
No, I'm 3 years old. You freaking nature.
Oh no! He just called you a freak of nature.
Give me this.
Take it back. Put it
We
back.
ain't getting it. Okay.
You want video games?
They doing my boy bad out here. But look like they been YouTubing. He been YouTubing.
He been getting down.
Yeah, he been getting the views lately. I've been checking him out. But I think that's the difference. Like we talk about parenting, and then we talk about people like Joe Jackson. Joe Jackson would have never let his kid do that because he wanted to. You talk about Joe Jackson beating his kids, but he really like was trying to set a standard for them in the field that they were in and trying to get them to work at a high level.
yeah, but it's still a balance, and he abused them.
I got a question. I wonder. So, do you think that? Because we wasn't on the internet when Joe was doing all that ass whooping, but new age ass whooping is when they take them to the barbershops and publicly humiliate them by cutting their damn hair and shit. Do you think Joe would have been one of them parents?
I don't really agree with that shit either.
I do. I think that's the worst. They be humiliating their kid. Like now,
Why I feel like why do you have to humiliate your kid and you can't handle them on your own? Like you gotta
yeah,
like why do you have to publicly humiliate them in front of like
yes,
I
the
can
worst.
discipline my son behind closed doors and correct the issue.
Right. I'm not about to cut his hair so he can look like Cosby for a week to prove.
Yeah, like I feel like if you have to publicly humiliate your kid or somebody, like you don't really have the control.
Yeah,
No,
that's
I ain't trying to make an excuse for it, but we also got to factor in what's going on in these day and times. You know what I'm saying? You put your hands on your kids can call in on you.
I mean, that's true. I mean,
So
I agree.
you got immature parents that's trying to find a different alternative, and the only alternative that they see is to embarrass the child.
I mean, now if my son was actually doing something online,
mm.
and it's like, okay, well, you was doing this online, so we're gonna do this online, as a form of
What the
punishment.
majority of the kids care about? They phone.
Right. So that's right.
So,
That's what I'm saying.
so if they're not, like I said, I'm not trying to make an excuse for it, but you know what I'm saying, if you're embarrassing this child and they know that you'll probably do that again, then more than likely they're gonna straighten up real quick. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, don't put me out there like that ever again.
So came back from though, because I agree with you, but man, when that one girl, I remember that girl, the mama found that girl was having that sex and got on that internet, had her out in that front yard and was like, I was doing this, then had her telling how dirty her drawers was all online and stuff. Why would you just run your daughter over online? Like it was awful, like an enemy level in my opinion. Like it was bad. And then at the end told her, yeah, and you ain't getting your phone. So you did all of that for like, I don't know. I'm with you because I feel you on alternative options. Fine, certain stuff. But on the flip side, that some stuff, like you're humiliating your child. How are they supposed to still go to school? And I get some trends, fine, but your kid being in the negative spotlight as a trend is awful, especially if you're supposed to be their hero and the person that's supposed to be, showing them the way. That ain't how you do it, in my opinion.
I mean,
Discipline
we
has
all,
been taken out of parenting due to some parents being their friends and scared to check the child or children when they are out of bounds. Go ahead, man. Sorry about that.
Could we not talk to children? Is that not a thing? Do we not actually
Yeah, I actually had levels. Like if it was something, so this is my thing. So the first time you do something, it's a mistake. Like I feel like you did it as a mistake, and I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna talk to you and see if we can correct it. Now, if you make it again, at that point, it's not a mistake to me because you're making it again. So it was a choice that you did. So now it deserves a punishment. So I'm not just jumping into discipline as far as hitting on my kid or publicly humiliate him just because he did something or when I'm raising them. But it's levels to it. I'm gonna first try to talk to you, sit down to you and tell you why I think it's wrong, and tell me why you did it and try to get an understanding of it first. And we're gonna walk down that path first. But if you turn around and do it again, then that wasn't enough.
yeah. So for me, as a father of three daughters, um, man, I have to be like super patient. You know what I mean? Especially with however I'm gonna respond to something or anything. None of us are experienced in parenting. You know,
Right.
we kind of go off of what we had done to us, and I most definitely don't want my kids to feel how I felt growing up. So, I try to figure out, maneuver my way around that stuff. Now, the thing that I developed that I feel like a lot of people need to try to understand is that remove your expectation from your child. You know what I mean? Because they are a child. They're going to do kid stuff. Regardless of what you tell them or how you tell them, they're still going to do kid stuff. My daughters are 13 years old. They teenaging right now. You know what I'm saying? And as bad as I just want to like jump down their throat, it's not going to do nothing but make it worse. You know what I'm saying? So I have to like be patient with myself and ask myself, these critical questions of, how would I want me to respond to me if I was a 13-year-old girl? You know what I'm saying? So I have to go into that mindset first before I respond to my daughters with how I feel, to check my emotions, because if I go into it straight in and they say something or do something I don't like, I don't know what my trigger response is going to be. You know what I mean? So I self prepare myself for, that off the flip. So therefore, you know what I mean, I can come to them in a different type of way. Like me and my daughters, we actually have a friendship. You know what I'm saying? That's something that I implemented in when they was like 7 years old. So my daughters have the comfortability of talking to me about certain things that most kids don't talk to their parents about. Me and my kids been talking about sex since they was 8 years old. You know what I mean? So not to say that, they're the greatest kids in the world, because they still gonna do what they do. They know I know that they gonna do what they do. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, I just have to be there when they do fuck up, because they're going to fuck up no matter what I tell them, how I tell them. I just have to not be so disappointed or feel like I'm embarrassed because I come off a certain type of way. So my kids should look like this, or my kids should do that. You know what I mean? It's a certain type of expectation that's placed on them, which it also hindered them too, because they feel like they got to live up to that. You know what I mean? And when they can't, you can drive them in certain type of way. So I try not to put that type of pressure on my daughters and just let them be what they are and do what they do. Just, whatever it is that they do, I just try to be there for them in the end.
Yeah, that's pretty much how I did with my son.
But you got so many parents that, like, they just, the moment that the child do something and it's disappointing to them, you know what I mean? Like, kind of, it's too much. You know what I mean? We go back into how our parents did us. You know what I'm saying? You want to hit on them or talk to them all stupid, crazy. You're going to be one of these little dumbass hoes out here. And you know what I'm saying? Like, nah, we don't talk to my daughters like that. I don't condone none of that type of stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I hated that. I hated parents that did that.
That's
That's
the way.
like conditioning. That's like conditioning your kid for something. Yeah, I hated that.
Yeah, it's now being mindful of how you talk to them. You know what I'm saying? Because if you had a parent that talked to you like that, you got to understand how you rebelled and what you did off of that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like my mama, used to talk crazy to me all the time. Get your dumb ass out of here, you stupid motherfucker. This, all that type of shit. You know what I'm saying? And it didn't do nothing but throw me into the streets. You know what I mean? Just threw me into bullshit, because it's like,
And And I think too, I feel like the lack of explanation, it gives you the ability to assume your own response, and it could be the wrong response. So for
Mhm.
example, I remember my mama used to always quickly tell me that it was certain people's faces that I shouldn't be in, right? Now, get it, granted, of course, she's trying to protect me from being in the wrong man's face. But keep in mind, all the women in the family used to yell at me and were mean to me, but the men weren't. So in my mind, I'm listening to her say, stop being in the faces of the people that are nice to me. So it's like, well, why do you keep not wanting me to talk to the people that are nice to me? But she mean, all the people who face I want to be in are mean. And you're not explaining, okay, well, this is a man and you don't need to be in a man's face. So my perception is you mean and you don't want me to ever see no happiness. Why are you like this? So I feel like the lack of explanation when we were a kid, because think about it, when you got in trouble, sometimes you do something, your mama just slap you up. She didn't even explain what happened. You might not even know which mess up it was. You just kind of get messed up. You kind of got to just think about it and figure it out versus, getting talked to. So I agree. And I just feel like if some communication kind of went behind the discipline, then at least you know the direction it was even coming from.
yeah,
Right.
yeah. I communicate everything with my daughter, and I also put it in a perspective where, they can see different they can tie in different variables to what it is that I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? Like if they cousin is doing something crazy and I'm telling them like, hey, look, your cousin gonna go down this road and this road look like this. You know what I mean? And this gonna happen in this way and that way, and I let them see it and let them develop it out. But I also don't always talk so much. I ask them questions to where they talk to me, to where I'm training them to think further along a process of something that's happening. So, hey, if you know that that's probably highly likely to happen down the road, then if you make the decision to go into it, it's your fault. It's no longer anyone else's fault because you know better.
Interesting. I agree. Segue, Copeland. Interesting. I'm surprised we haven't had a caller.
Yeah, we haven't had a caller tonight. Well, you know what? This is the Love Live. It is a safe space. And what I mean by a safe space is this is a place where you can come speak your mind. It is, of course, Mother's Day. I think we kind of took it calm this week, which I think is pretty cool. We have a smaller panel. We just been really talking about parenting, I think, overall, because I think mothers, definitely, facilitate parenting. And we got Brother Bam on the course. Welcome on the panel as usual. We've also got our reoccurring panel, Miss MVP in the house. MVP, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm beautiful, wonderful, blessed. How are you?
Chilling. I'm pretty good. We also got the Bronze Beauty in the house once again.
What up? What up?
Girl, is the fan blowing, Bronze? Don't play with me. Is the fan blowing?
She got the Beyonce over there. You got the
He said
Beyonce
the Bronze
settings.
Beauty, and her bang was like withering. I'm not about to play with her.
I got the wind effect.
Yes, like I know what wet and wavy do. I know what wet and wavy when I see it.
That's funny. That wet and wavy.
Yeah,
Last
boy.
but not least, our host, Miss Delia King.
Hi.
So, I pulled up some more of Mr. Wop Wop. Oh, don't forget our sponsor.
Oh, yes, for tonight, heartblacklives.com.
Heartblacklives.com. So they got a black mother's t-shirt. I'm not sure if they got many of those left for this year. Of course, it's a pretty high item flying off the
Yes,
shelves.
most definitely.
So let's go here. So we've been showing little dude, little Woo Woo, is his name Woo Wop. We've been showing this video. I call him Woo Woo. Let's go. We got some more from Little Woo Woo.
What are we showing?
A ring? Yeah. For me?
Come on, he didn't get you no ring. What are you doing?
It's a ring.
No, it ain't. Put that back. Did you give it up? What are you talking about? Thank you. Did you talk to him, right?
Thank you.
Now, that's this man's girlfriend. Gotta have a whole fight with the kid.
Everybody be wearing this PSD underwear. They don't even be wearing long johns.
If I shoot a nigga, is he ever gonna respawn?
I'm finna hit him with the Cooper Carbon, put him in the gulag.
Cooper Carbon? Deal.
Everybody.
So this is what they have.
He's raggedy. I was gonna say, what about that little girl? It's a little girl. She up and coming. She like 4 or 5, and she sing a little rap about being on the playground, and it's adorable. She ain't ratchet. She just out here being a normal little toddler.
I don't know that little boy. I feel like this new age parenting. They just so caught up in, like Bam said, the internet.
Yep.
Like it's everybody's trying to go viral. Everybody's trying to make numbers online. And they're using the little kids at the expense of that, and that is sad. Like
that kid can turn into a reckless adult, but it's not. I mean, it's a chance he can't. But you're right. I mean, like it just, I don't know. It's like you gonna have to reprogram.
But how would you even feel though, Delia? Like, I'm gonna keep it real. I'm playing, advocate a little bit. It's like, what about like homegirl like that knocks on your door every day? Like she goes viral. Like her parents. True. What if her parents look and be like, "Damn, my daughter got 5 million views on this TikTok over here."
Look and do what?
Not do nothing, but I'm saying I
would laugh. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
But I'm just saying, even the internet is just kind of that kind of place. It's just kind of like exposing them to that. Like this little guy, he's all over like all kind of Twitch streamers' house, and just like the same celebrities, like the same people I've seen Nicki Minaj and all kind of different people at the dude Kai's house, and I also seen the little dude Woo Wop there. And he's like I say, he's 5 years old, 6 years old. So it's just one of those things with the internet. I think
Well,
the
I
parenting.
hope we don't get to
It's
that
the
level.
time we
I
in
feel like
though.
it's a control thing because, like, my child still needs consent, so it's up to me if I'm going to exploit my child at that level too.
I mean, but most of these parents are young. They're going to do that because what the internet is doing, the internet is actually paying these kids. You know what I'm saying? These kids is having kids, and the internet is paying them. So you know what I mean. If like, one of their kids go viral, they worried about the check. They're not really worried about the morals and values of the child.
Right.
You know what I mean? We have that. You know, our generation has those things, but a lot of these children they don't have that. Even as an '80s '90s baby, you know, if you didn't have both parents in the home, you still had some type of father figure that was around. A lot of these kids now they don't even have no sense of a father figure nowhere around. You know what I
Right.
mean? And they just kind of going with the notion of okay, I got my mama. A lot of these boys have the same exact mannerisms as their mama. They talk like their mama. They move their hands, their head, their lips, everything. How their mama talk, they look exactly like their mama. You know what I mean? Then when they get around their homeboys and partners and try to, fit in as little boys, they only have one side. They're not fully covered as a young boy to learn how to transition into a man to, know certain values about themselves and hold themselves to it. They don't have a certain code. You know what I mean? I don't have no code at all. That's why they don't care. They'll willingly shoot into a crowd where it's a bunch of women. They don't, they'll beat up women. They'll do all kind of different stuff because they don't have that base. You know what I mean? The internet is snatching all of that away because they giving them the money. It takes so much for us to try to get famous. It don't take nothing for these kids to get famous. All they gotta do is say something and do something stupid. Go out and mess with somebody at Walmart or something. You know what I'm saying? And they go viral. Now they all over the place. You know what I mean? So I mean, it's just the time that we in. It's like, well, do we get mad at them for exploiting and doing what they doing, or should we be mad at ourselves that we ain't putting enough energy into them to give them what they actually need?
Or when they was exploiting their grandmas. Remember when they was trying to get their grandmas for them scholarship checks, and they was trying to tell their grandmas to act like they was hoes. Hey, them grandmas
I
was not
remember
having
that.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not
Mm-mm.
having it. Okay.
No.
They said what? No, no.
But these
Yeah.
these times, like you said, these times are just different. Where we didn't have the access to the internet, so we weren't trying to chase the dollar off the internet like
Right.
everybody's trying to chase down.
Get it. That's true.
Yeah, all these kids now, all they want to do is just they want
Neurologist.
to live a certain type of lifestyle.
We lost the desire to want to be honorable.
For
Some,
sure.
somewhere along the way, honor.
A lot of people had never been given anything to honor.
Yeah,
So it's like, how can you
And
desire something you didn't
even
even know
that,
existed?
and
yeah,
even
but
that, where did the
Because like, how
ball
much
get?
honor is
the ball dropped when the fathers got removed from the home. That's where the ball dropped.
But what do we do now? How do we pick it back up? Because we can't just leave. We can't just be like, well, I know better, so I'm gonna do better. If you know better, then it is your responsibility to show better. So what do we
Well,
do now?
the problem with our people is that we've lost the will to be sacrificial. You know what I'm saying? If you go back in history and look at our history of, the times of Martin Luther King and Malcolm X, our people were sacrificial. You know what I'm saying? They sacrificed time, they sacrificed everything to walk and believe in a whole nother man's dream. You know what I mean? Do the things that they needed to do necessary for us all to come together and do certain stuff. So when you create that separation and now everybody's selfish, you know what I mean? Growing up, you used to have people say, in the neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody in the neighborhood watched everybody child. They knew everything that was going on with everybody child and all them they got involved. You know what I mean? Now it's like shit. I don't know them kids. They ain't my kids. Fuck them kids. You know,
hell?
like the adults actually have things on the internet that's talking about fuck these kids. So when you try to go and talk to kids and you feel like they supposed to respect you, how they gonna respect you when all y'all running around here talking about fuck the kids? You know what I'm saying? So really, at the end of the day, it's up to us. You know, it's up to the older generation. Like the younger generation already got it. You know what I mean? Like they own to something that we wasn't able to be on. You know what I'm saying? We got the highest number of young millionaires that we'd ever had. You know what I mean? It's just that for us, where we at, we got to step outside of our selfishness and pour into them. If we ain't pouring into them like we supposed to, so that is they're never going to get what they need if we don't do what we supposed to do.
And with that being said, I'm gonna segue into, we're getting pretty late. It is Mother's Day, and we're gonna definitely end on time tonight. We got about 26 minutes left, but one thing, that scholarship video. Daddy, you want to walk us through that scholarship video? I actually got it loaded up.
The scholarship video. I need to get my life together. Oh, this one, multiples. So, because there's different variations, but basically, they're prank videos where the whatever niece, daughter, whichever they decide, granddaughter, they come out and they make it seem like they're trying to get a scholarship, but they have to act like that the family member has went through some type of hardship back in the day, and that's what the money's about. And it's usually around the lines of being a streetwalker, a hoe, or sharing their body outside of marriage, just something that was in the negative on a Black woman, and they not going for it.
You say you're gonna try to sit up? And make sure it's recording. Okay, it's recording. Ready? Okay. Hello, so my name is Anisha West.
And my name is Gloria Bob.
And this is my grandma. So I'm applying for this scholarship because it is I'm applying for this scholarship because it would greatly benefit me for college and not having me to take out any loans. And the prompt question was, what's my greatest inspiration for this scholarship? And it's my grandma. And it's my grandmother because I had witnessed my late pawpaw hit my grandma upside the head with a frying pan. And let me give you a backstory about it. So my grandpa and my grandma, which I call pawpaw, he met my grandma. He met her on the street. She was a prostitute. She was the fastest woman on the hill. So because I know like that's something I don't want for my life, that gave me great inspiration to not like want no man to like hit me on side the head with a frying pan and not be on the street,
Right.
So yeah, I don't want that for my life, and I feel like this $500,000 scholarship would be beneficial. So I won't be the fastest woman on the hill. In my late pawpaw, I won't have nobody like what he got.
She was looking at her like, what the?
Oh, and was just one of them longer ones, because like I guess some of them shorter ones, please. Them women, they waste no time. Like the girl will be like, yeah, because my grandma, she used to be fast. She was a prostitute. Oh, whoa, wait a minute. Now you're gonna have to do this thing over now. I love you. I'm gonna help you, but you're not about to be saying that about me on there. Start that over. Girl, they don't be starting it over or nothing. It's a mess. Like that thing funny.
Yeah.
Academic Sound provides you with restriction.
I don't know, Danielle, if your son tried to come in and do one of them prank videos, how would you feel?
He doesn't necessarily try to do the prank videos like that, but like he has actually started recording, like when he'll come in and we talking and he knows I'm gonna give a crazy response or he knows I'm gonna say something, he'll start recording me and catch me off guard on some shit. So he has actually done that before. But I mean, Like he said, like Bam keeps saying, it's the time that they use the internet for everything now. So you
So
just kind of gotta adjust, but still make sure you set them boundaries. Though it's still a respect level as a parent.
So
it says our generation and the older generations were not with the disrespect, especially coming from a child. And they definitely wasn't with children getting in grown people's conversation. That is like the new norm nowadays. Kids will literally be sitting right there while you are talking and will just join. And the parent says nothing, and I'm looking at the parent like, so they talking to us too. So
Yeah.
you gonna send her in there to get the Plan B pill? Like, what is that? I just don't understand.
What?
So I want to, I want to kind of for Mother's Day, I kind of I sit down and I talk to my godmom. I always talk to her about like history stuff. You know what I'm saying? And I share something with her today. I want to share something with y'all, but I'm gonna ask y'all a couple of questions first. Uh, so do y'all believe like genetically passed down, like your energy towards certain people can be genetically passed down from, some of your people, your ancestors?
Yes.
You know how you hear people say, you act just like your grandma or you act just like your mama, you know what I'm saying? So that's a form of stating that genetically something has been passed down to you where, you know what I'm saying, you talk like them, you sound like them, you move like them. Excuse me, things of that nature, right?
Yeah.
So the energy between men and women where it's almost like this love hate. You know what I'm saying? Like when you talk about certain things with men and women, it's like some women kind of come across as if they hate men, and there's some men that come across as if they hate women. Right. So a while back I just kind of like just did some research on like, slavery and stuff like that. But I also just stumbled on some different things. So um I can't remember the exact time frame, but it's like ancient history. For women back then, they were treated like animals. They were treated like horses, dogs, all that type of stuff, even if they was a wife. So as a wife, um, if a wife was caught gossiping, I don't know if you're able to see this. You see that?
They cut her mouth out.
It's a bridal torture mask. So the bridal torture mask, it goes into her mouth where anytime she talks, it cuts into her tongue. You know what I'm saying? These methods was used on women for centuries. You know what I'm saying? Because back then, majority of the men believed women to be witches. They didn't even look at them as human beings. You can look it up. It's in the history.
Old out here. That's
You
all.
can look it up. They didn't look at them as human beings at all. So when I thought back to, you know, when they started trying to do like the feminist movement and things like that. You know what I'm saying? A lot of that energy comes from the ancestry of what men did to women. You know what I mean? So it's a base there of hatred. You know what I'm saying, between men and women because men, of course, are dominant. You know what I'm saying? Have been dominant, especially in that time where a woman really couldn't do shit. You couldn't do nothing with a man. You know what I'm saying? You couldn't do nothing without a man. Like, they tell you about marriage, but they don't really tell you the whole soul basis of, polygamy. I hate to keep going back to it, but the thing is that majority of women couldn't even stay in a house or anything unless they were married to a man, which means that majority of men had multiple wives. You know what I'm saying? Because a woman will be just out in the field, not just living out in the field. You know what I'm saying? She had to be with a man in order to survive. You know what I mean? It was set up like that. And it's in history, it shows these type of things. Now, the reason that I'm saying that is because one, I want y'all to go fact check it, go look at it for yourself. You know what I'm saying? And really just kind of dig into that history because I think it'll help shine some type of light on where we started from to where we getting to. You know what I'm saying? In the middle piece, where we can kind of break down a little bit of our energy, through certain things. I know for me, it helped me to look at things from a different perspective for when a woman is being like really really aggressive and being really really angry, I can be a lot more patient with her because I know that history. You know what I'm saying? So that me knowing that history,
So you be
it,
thinking she used to be a pit bull puppy, so it's okay. I'm just playing.
some
I'm just playing.
some borderline. Like I ain't gonna really let you. You know, I ain't gonna let it trigger me. I ain't gonna let it get to me because I'm
Right.
now trying to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? Also incorporating it. You know, with my daughters, everything. You know what I mean? It's just I just do little stuff to try to help me understand people, understand human beings. You know what I mean? Like we've been through so much stuff, and it's like if you really don't know the background of something, you can't understand something, it's gonna always be a problem. Like I said, for me, I'll never get in a relationship with a person that's not actually genuinely trying to understand me. If you're not understanding me, trying to understand me, I'm not gonna fool with you on no level.
So let me ask you. So basically, I mean, you asked the question like, does everybody believe that? And I definitely do believe traits that is hereditary through DNA. So do you believe kind of like that sense of dogma kind of just goes through the DNA? So, and oftentimes I think at this far into a conversation, we get into culture because
Mm-hmm.
culture is. I think that same goes for us as men as well. I think that shoe goes on both feet. If you consider that, if you consider
Mm-hmm.
just the passed down trauma that just happens just through your DNA sequence, I guess, as African American people. Um, but with that being said, you know, being a mother is like a maternal thing, right? MVP. I see MVP's been over there making some faces. What you got to say, MVP? I see you.
Oh, I was reading the comments.
Let's go to the comments.
We have rituals rather they bring positive or negative energies, and because they say God is a man, women have been put or placed to be in the background. Mm, mm. Oh, that was a powerful
Candy
statement.
Pure came
Who
been.
said God is a man?
Well, they. That's what she said.
They do,
I
yeah.
They
know,
said
no,
They,
no, no. That's what I'm asking. Like, if anyone can answer, who said that God was a man?
they did.
Who was that?
Them
Is they
people in
the
her
church?
comment.
Is they
Them
the
people in
church?
her comment.
No, 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 no. I'm saying like, is they
they.
the church? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, because most people when they talk about whatever they perceive God to be, a lot of people that are Christian perceive God to be a man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We going right back to the religious text. You know what I'm saying? So
Worldly, yeah.
yeah, majority of it feel like God is a man. Then you have some people that believe that God is a woman. You have some people that believe that God is an entity.
You got some people that believe God is within you.
Yeah, you believe you are a depiction of God that's having a human experience.
Right. Mm.
And it's all I feel like it's a development of, like I said, this selfish nature that we're starting to embark on, where now we're trying to have this balance of, who's higher up, who's better than who. You know what I'm saying? It's just like it's, women's well, women are smarter than men. You know what I mean? And it's
Mm.
men. A man will always be stronger than a woman. You know what I mean? It's like
Right.
it's a back and forth. When the back and forth don't even need to be there, it doesn't matter. We're all humans. We're all capable of different type of things. You know what I'm saying? It's not an alligator ain't about to argue with a lion about a roar and a growl. You know what I mean? They're different. It's you know what I mean? An alligator can swim underwater for a long time. Lion can't get in that water like that. You know what I mean? It's ups, it's pros and cons on each one. It's one side is better than the other on each end. So it really don't really matter. It's just how you come together and make shit work.
I I think that's a big thing about like what we do on this format too. Um, it's a lot of men versus women in podcasting right now, and
Yeah.
live shows is more of a competition. And I think the competition comes from the maybe being out of order in some ways. And one of my biggest things is I just couldn't have a baby. I don't know. I don't think I could grow a baby inside my stomach for 9 months and then have a baby.
You
So
think that's the
hats off
hard
to all
part?
the ladies.
Try pushing
To
it,
me, that's one of the hardest parts to me.
man. Pushing it
I
out.
mean, you know that's. I mean, yeah, I've
Pushing
said
it.
that in the.
So I'm pushing it out.
I've said it in
That's
the podcast before.
Because
You know what
I
I'm
just know it feels way better coming out of y'all than it do coming out of us. That's for fucking sure.
I mean, physically in that sense, you know what I'm saying? Yes, you know, women are gonna deal with something that we'll never ever, you know, experience. You know what I mean? And there's certain things on the man side that, you know, women won't experience, but
Answer.
we all have this different type of pain that's dwelling in us from, you know, anything, you know, like a lot of y'all shit, you know, when it comes to being pregnant, it's physical. You know what I'm saying? A lot of the pain that comes from men is emotional, it's mental. You know what I mean? So, do you really want to switch that role? You know what I mean? It's like you have women say, "Hey, you know, you want to walk around, you want to be pregnant for 9 months. Okay, that's cool. Do you want to pay $1,000 in child support for 18 years?" Is women fuck? No, I don't want to do none of that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like
I
you
don't know.
can play the field. You can play the field however you want to. It's just to each his own. You know what I'm saying? Like most people aren't going to rationalize and try to make sense of it however they want to, but it's to each his own.
But yeah, all I was gonna say was I feel like it does definitely depend on the person. Cause like you're asking the switch, and I feel like I'm strong enough to handle some of that mental, but I don't think a large amount of men can handle a large amount of the physical. Physical pain is real. It do hurt. So it's like this strong don't mean you can take you can dish it out. So you can probably give a heavy blow you because you bench pressing 350, but that don't mean you can take a blow from somebody that bench press 350.
Yeah, I mean it's just like
350.
men. That's just like men that can't take what.
Copeland, you bench pressing 350?
No, I'm just speaking on, you know,
Okay.
maybe not today.
But
No,
nah,
not
that's
today,
just
but
like
no.
but that's just like men when women say that men can't take what they dish out. You know what I'm saying? Because you have those men, but you know those men don't. Like I said, it go back to not having someone there to help them make sense of the stupidity to, you know, be able to understand their emotions in a certain setting. You know, most men can't handle what they dish out because no disrespect, and I'm gonna try to word this as best as I can, but a lot of the ways that they deal with shit, they learn it from their mother. You know what I'm saying? So when they see when something happens with their mom and she has a trauma response, he has the same exact response.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He's not really responding like an actual man. Most women haven't even seen an actual, true, hardcore man's response. You know what I'm saying? You thinking about what you think a man is supposed to respond like, but you haven't actually seen it. You know what I'm saying? If you haven't actually seen it, then majority of men haven't actually seen it. You know what I'm saying? I've been blessed to actually see how real men respond to certain things. You know what I'm saying? Majority of men that are triggered by the things that they done to women, a lot of them have been raised by their mothers. They respond just like their mother. You know what I mean? So for me personally, if a woman is, oh, I messed around, okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, what do you want me to? You want me to fight you? You want me to get mad at you? Because the thing is as a man, what men do is that they go inside of their brain, they go inside of their mind and think of all these thoughts. So what does a woman do when if a man don't answer his phone, a woman is, oh nigga, you on this, you on that, you know what I'm saying? Like whatever, it's some bullshit. You know what I'm saying? So when the man woman cheats on him, it's like, oh well, you must have loved him better. Did you suck his dick? Or you know what I'm saying? Was it this or was it that? You know, you go into all these fucking questions, you know what I'm saying? And it's like that's your emotional response because you developed that by being around a woman for so long. For men, most men, I can't say most men, for men that I know, for how I'm raised, I'm not like that. You know what I mean? Like that type of stuff doesn't bother me. It doesn't trigger me. Why? Because I understand you are a human being. You're going to do human shit. I
Right.
don't own you. I don't control you, and that's okay. You know what I'm saying? Now I can make the choice if I still want to proceed with you or if I want to exit. It's that simple.
Straight up. You know what? I'm gonna segue in simply because we said we're gonna keep it to 2 hours, and I know it's hard to cut it, but I'm gonna be the person who jumps in and kind of keeps us on. It's been great having all of y'all on once again for Mother's Day, Delia. We're gonna go
Episode
ahead
11.
and episode 11. This was episode 11, y'all. We've been doing this for 2 months straight, so congratulations to us.
And this was
Shout out
a
to our.
milestone. Oh, this was a big deal for us. Y'all don't know this, but when me and Sean first started this, we had made an agreement that when we got to episode 11, we would really know the direction, how we were going to go about the show and everything. And in the time that we've started the show, y'all have rocked with us and rolled through these waves. We've done cuts, we've added, we've subtracted, and we now feel comfortable and confident of the direction that we're going to go with the Love Life. So we do definitely, even though I think I talk a little bit more than Copeland does, we do thank y'all for sticking with us through all of the roughages, through all of the timing, the late, the not sure, everything, because now we officially know the direction of the Love Live. We know how we want it formatted, and we're honored to have you here. So thank you so much, and we in this thing.
Straight up. So we're gonna go ahead and give everybody a chance to say something before we go ahead and get off this evening. Started with Brother Bam.
Mothers first.
Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. Thank you, everybody that tuned in about parenting, and we hope to see you next week.
Yo, I just want to say peace and love to all the mothers, the motherly figures, but also a moment of silence for those that may be grieving on today. If today was not a day of joy, I wish you well. I wish you peace. And until next time, I'm out.
Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers and to all of the people that are standing in the position to be a mother. I was adopted. I went through legal guardianship. I've been in foster care. So I do know that there's a person that may be standing in the position of a mother, and today is your day as well. So for everyone else, just have a great evening. And thank you again for showing up for episode 11.